This video is brought to you by accraghana.com/pavement, a platform that exposes Ghana's pavements, streets, and roads. No sugarcoating, no corporate fairy tales. If you still don't know where the heartbeat of Ghana, Greater Accra, is, it sits on the west coast of Africa, along the Gulf of Guinea, where the pollution, congestion, traffic, and noise never sleep.
All right, let's talk about something we all walk on every single day, probably without even thinking about it: pavements. But as we're about to see, the state of the walkways in Ghana tells a much, much bigger story. It's a story about a nation's development, and it starts right there on the broken ground beneath their feet. Think about that for a second. A national scandal hidden in plain sight. What a powerful way to put it. This isn't just about a few cracked sidewalks. This frames the problem as a huge, visible failure that really gets to the heart of a country's promise of progress. It's something everyone sees every day, but maybe we don't always grasp the true scale of it. So let's dive into our first section, the broken ground. This is where we see this huge gap between the official story of Accra as this rising African capital, with all the shiny new buildings, and the actual reality for people on the ground, the chaotic, often dangerous experience of just trying to walk somewhere. And this right here is the daily reality. We are not talking about a few potholes. We're talking about a total breakdown of public space. Sidewalks are just gone, or they're flooded, or they've been turned into parking lots, or little restaurants, or even shortcuts for motorbikes. It means that for millions of people, just walking is a daily battle. And that brings us to the big question, right? Are good, safe pavements just some kind of luxury item, a nice little extra to make things look pretty? Or are they something way more fundamental? The argument here is that mobility, the ability for people to move around safely, is the absolute lifeblood of development. If you can't get that right, how can anything else truly move forward? So how did things get this bad? Well, our next section, A Tale of Two Systems, really breaks it down. We're going to compare two completely different ways of doing things: the disciplined, scientific approach to building pavements in countries where they actually work versus the chaotic, short-term approach that's so common in Ghana. The difference is pretty eye-opening. Okay, just look at the difference when it comes to planning. On one side, it's a science. You have strict plans, engineering precision, careful calculations for things like drainage and traffic. But on the other side, projects are often rushed to be finished just in time for an election, and crucial things like drainage, they're treated like an afterthought. It's obvious one is built to last, and the other is basically designed to fail. And it doesn't stop there. What about maintenance? In a functional system, it's routine. It's scheduled. The source says it's like brushing your teeth. You just do it because you have to. But in the other system, repairs only happen by accident, or when there's a huge emergency that's become a national embarrassment. You can see how one culture preserves what it builds, while the other just lets it fall apart. And that leads us right into section 3, the syndrome of failure. Now, syndrome is the perfect word here, because this isn't just one problem. It's a whole bunch of interconnected failures, political, cultural, financial, that all feed off each other and make the crisis worse. In fact, you can think of it like a recipe for disaster. Step 1, rush the construction to meet a political deadline. Step 2, completely ignore drainage, which lets water, the #1 enemy of pavement, just seep in and destroy everything. Step 3, allow a culture where nobody is punished for misusing the space. And step 4, the final ingredient, systemic corruption, which makes sure the wrong materials are used and the money vanishes. I love this line from the source. Corruption is the silent bulldozer. It's such a great metaphor because it shows that this isn't some abstract crime. It has a real, physical, destructive effect. Every bribe, every shortcut on materials literally bulldozes the integrity of the infrastructure from the inside out, making sure it won't last. So what does this all add up to? In section 4, we're talking about the true cost of neglect, because this isn't just about aesthetics or inconvenience. There is a very real price being paid by people, by their vehicles, and by the entire economy. First, the human cost is just shocking. When sidewalks vanish, people have no choice but to walk on the road, right next to cars and trucks. We're talking about kids going to school, mothers carrying babies, workers trying to get home. They're literally forced to gamble with their lives every single day. The spaces meant to keep them safe have been completely taken over. And it's not just a human cost. The source says vehicles in Ghana age in dog years. I mean, what a perfect description. The constant damage to suspensions, tires, it's a huge financial burden. And that chaos ripples out. Deliveries are late, transportation costs go up, and the whole economy slows down. It's a productivity killer. And this really gets to the heart of the matter. A country can have these big, ambitious goals for industrialization, but if you can't even get a truck from a factory to a market efficiently because the roads are a mess, well, then is that big goal just a dream? It proves that you can't achieve big things if you don't get the small, boring basics right first. But it doesn't have to be this way. Our final section is called Rebuilding the Foundation, because after looking at everything that's gone wrong, the source gives us a vision for what could be possible. But it all starts with a major shift in how we think about development itself. You see, the problem with the current model is pretty simple. It's all about building shiny things on shaky ground. We see these huge, impressive projects, gleaming malls, massive flyovers that look great in photos. But all the while, the actual foundation that society runs on is literally crumbling. And the vision for a better Ghana isn't some wild fantasy. It's a picture of a city that just works. Wide sidewalks where people can walk without fear, smooth roads, communities that are actually connected. It's about choosing discipline over shortcuts and real planning over last-minute improvisation. Other African cities are already making this happen, so we know it's possible. And this brings us to what might be the biggest takeaway of all. We have to redefine what we mean by development. True development isn't measured by how tall your skyscrapers are. It's measured by the quality of the boring, invisible stuff. The pavements, the drainage, the sanitation systems, the things that actually make daily life work for everybody. When you think about it, a country's pavements are like a mirror. They reflect its soul. They show you what that society really prioritizes. Do they value order and safety for everyone, or do they tolerate chaos and dysfunction? The answer is right there, written on the ground. So we'll end on this one powerful thought. A nation's real strength isn't about the shiny stuff on top. It's about the quality of the foundation underneath. It really makes you stop and ask, what are we building, and what kind of ground are we building it on?
This video is brought to you by AccraGhana.com/pavement, a platform that exposes Ghana's pavements, streets, and roads. No sugarcoating, no corporate fairy tales. If you still don't know where the heartbeat of Ghana, Greater Accra, is, it sits on the west coast of Africa, along the Gulf of Guinea, where the pollution, congestion, traffic, and noise never sleep.